Oh. Wow. Thank you. I love people. I love people. I meet so many of them every single day, and it's great. They're always kind, complimentary of my years on the ice and in the television commentary booth, but it's what is inside of me that's remained somewhat of a secret. It's who I am today and who I'll probably be for the rest of my life. And that is, I am still today that broken-hearted 18-year-old boy that just lost his mother to cancer. Since that day, I've dedicated my life to raise money for cancer research. You know, I thought I hated cancer then, but 20 years later, I survived my own bout of cancer, testicular cancer. I made it cool before Lance Armstrong, okay? It was in that time that I truly understood what it meant to be at war with cancer. It was amazing. And, you know, it wasn't just about raising money anymore. It was about making the next day, week, month, year better for the next person facing this insidious disease. And if cancer wasn't enough, it was 2 brain tumors. Yeah, I'm lucky in cards too, right? One in 2004 and another one in 2010. And what I learned through those episodes were just how many treatment options there were for cancer. It's miraculous. Okay, full disclosure, if I had to write a personal ad right now, I am so glad I'm married, because if I had to write a personal ad and be 100% honest, it would read, short, bald, half-neutered, chemoed, radiated, surgically repaired, retired male figure skater what? Of unknown ethnic origin, seeks a beautiful, intelligent woman for long walks, laughter, and an interest for my hobby of collecting life-threatening illnesses. I'm so glad I'm married. I remember who I was and how I was before chemotherapy, radiation, and countless surgeries. And sometimes, truth to tell, it's difficult to accept that I've lost more than a step or two. High doses of chemotherapy, well, I know the long-term effects of that will sooner than later kick in, and it'll diminish my quality of life and the length of my life. But what choices did I have when faced with stage 3 cancer? What choice did I have when faced with 2 pituitary brain tumors that were affecting every aspect of my life? Well, chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, best options I had. To tell you the truth, I got world-class care. It could not have been any better. But you always wonder what's on the horizon. What's next? Well, that's why I'm here right now in this beautiful red circle, to tell you about an emerging cancer treatment option that's getting better every single day. It's called proton therapy. Now, I was first introduced to proton therapy when I was asked to speak at the University of Florida Health Proton Therapy Institute's annual fundraising dinner for their Proton Therapy Center. And my mind was absolutely blown. I mean, this is literally about splitting atoms. They walked me through the facility, and I was instantly blown away by the size and the scope of this technology. Through some weird procedure, they excite the atoms, and the proton is extracted, put into this gigantic cyclotron, and it spins. It accelerates the proton to 2/3 the speed of light, shoots it through a tube, through a delivery system, deposit those protons right into the cancerous tissue, where it delivers its energy, its radiation. It's miraculous stuff. A few years ago, saw proton therapy again. And again, this time it was in Knoxville, Tennessee. A man named Terry Douglas, who played an integral role in the development and the manufacture of the first PET scan, a cancer diagnostic tool, was showing me his proton therapy center. And I was instantly taken aback by the size and the scope of his proton therapy center, because it was in a fraction of the space from what I saw in Florida. It's mind-boggling how this works. But it's how it works that makes it so important and unique, because it treats the cancer and spares the patient. It's unlike any other cancer treatment. It treats the cancer and spares the patient. So proton therapy is radiation. And we all know that radiation is a tool that is used every single day to treat cancer. But it's how the radiation works that truly separates proton therapy and makes it a miraculous treatment option. In traditional beam radiation, it's made of photons, which are X-ray and gamma rays. Now, these beams are shot into the tumor where they release their radiation, but by the nature of the beam, it continues on into the body. Well, with protons, it's a particle beam. The particles, the protons, are shot into the tumor, lots of protons, where they release their energy and they stay right where they are. Now, if you're a woman with breast cancer and you're being treated with proton therapy or with traditional radiation, this is what it looks like. You can see on one side, wherever you see color, that's radiation. The protons go to the tumor, stay there. The photons, well, they release their energy into the tumor, which is great, but they continue on into the chest cavity where they can cause collateral damage. So if you're a woman being treated with breast cancer with traditional radiation, the radiation goes into your chest cavity, you've just survived cancer, but you may develop cardiovascular disease. It's not much of a trade-off, is it? Okay? Men, I'm going to make you switch in your seat a little bit, okay? All men, if you live long enough, will develop prostate cancer. Sorry, don't shoot the messenger. But right now, there's 3 treatment options for prostate cancer. 1, surgery, which seems to be getting a little bit better every day, but I saw my uncle go through it, and the side effects or the after effects of the surgery are incontinence and impotence. Not a great option, right? Well, there's radiation, you saw how that worked. And then there's proton therapy, where they now use a pencil beam, a very exact beam to shoot into the tumor, get rid of it without any collateral damage to the surrounding tissue. And I meet these men every day that go through this, and they are so thrilled that they go in, 20 minutes later they're out, and they're living a totally normal life with no after effects and a 5-year survival rate of 99.5%. Pretty good, right? Here's a brain treated with protons and traditional radiation. Which one would you choose if you had a choice? For children, it's unbelievably important, especially when it's brain cancer, because high doses of radiation to a child's brain will cause devastating effects to their physical and intellectual development. I've met these kids. It's brutal. They're not who they were before. It's like the physicians will say, "We've got the cancer, and we're sorry." The case for proton therapy is so good for children especially, that St. Jude Children's Research Hospital right now is building their own proton therapy center where they'll be able to offer children this, again, miraculous treatment option. So why is it that we haven't heard about proton therapy every single day? Why is it that if a person is diagnosed with cancer and radiation is their best form of treatment and they qualify for proton therapy, why aren't they given that option? Well, it's a simple case of money. Proton therapy centers have a reputation of being incredibly expensive to build. Add on to that the cost of treating the patient and staffing, and you've given a hospital system a little bit of pause on maybe including this as a treatment option, and you've given insurance carriers every excuse not to cover it. I hate bullies, don't you? We've done everything we possibly can, everything we can do to get insurance to cover proton therapy. Now, Florida, they're pretty good about it, but every other state, maybe not so much. You see, because this is what we're faced with. This is a coverage chart of traditional radiation and where it's offered. 1,400 places. It's like the Verizon map, right? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Well, this is where proton therapy is offered. 17 places. 18 more under construction, but 17 places right now. So the access is somewhat limited, but it's still out there. Well, private insurance says, nah, it's experimental. We're not going to cover it. We don't want to risk our customers with, a treatment option that, well, blah, 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 blah. It's been around since 1961. It's treated over 120,000 patients. It's FDA approved, and it's covered by Medicare and Medicaid. But they still refuse to cover it. The largest insurance provider in Tennessee, where I live, Tennessee, tiny little Tennessee, well, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, a 501c3 nonprofit, tax-exempt organization. They're tax-exempt because they supply a unique opportunity to treat people in a way that is, so they don't pay taxes. Great. They're worth $2 billion with a B. That's how much money they have in the bank. And 2 years ago, they made $263 million in profit. I mean, income over expenses. And this year, they're poised to do it again, make over $200 million of profit. I mean, income over expenses. And they still refuse to cover proton therapy. We've tried everything. We went to the state senate. We figure in the Affordable Care Act, we're mandated to buy insurance. Well, then maybe the insurance company should be mandated to cover things that are FDA approved and covered by Medicare and Medicaid. Not so much. They pushed back. The senators that we went to said, it's a mandate. We don't like those. Go back and sharpen your pencil. We went back this year, and we offered a Patient Choice Act, which all it means is if you're diagnosed with cancer, radiation is your treatment option, you qualify for proton therapy, you have your choice, and the insurance companies reimburse at the exact same level. Good deal, right? I mean, our expert witness was from MD Anderson, a chief radiation oncologist, and he said to the senators, the quality is so much different. It's like offering up a BMW for the price of a Fiat. And the senators still said, it still feels like a mandate. We're not comfortable with it. What can be done? What can we do to make sure that this treatment option is available to everyone who needs it? Well, how about this? We build proton therapy centers anyway, because what's most important is the patient. Right now, Terry Douglas and I are working together to open proton therapy centers around the country, and one of them is planned for Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah! Okay. Like, I'm a kid. I grew up in the 80s. Well, I was a little older in the 80s, but I was still in the 80s, and I was absolutely sure that I was going to throw down $1,000 on a VCR. $1,000. It's a fact that all technology, the broader the application, the more people using it, costs plummet. And that's our hope, that we're able to give proton therapy to more people that absolutely need it, and we're able to keep costs down. Then maybe insurance companies will come in and say, well, maybe it's not so experimental. I think we can do this. So what can you do? Well, here's what you can do. You can tell everybody you know that there's a new kid in town, and it's called proton therapy. You have an idea of how it works. It's precise, it's non-toxic, and it simply is the best choice for most of us who are trying to extend our lives and the quality of our lives. If you're in a company that carries its own insurance plan, have them add proton therapy. At equal reimbursement rates, it shouldn't add 1 cent to the cost of the coverage. If you know somebody that's going through cancer and needs this miraculous treatment, tell them about it. Save the life and the quality of their lives. And if you're diagnosed with cancer, God forbid you're diagnosed with cancer, know that this is a great option for you to extend the quality of your life. But most importantly, advancing, all of us coming together to push back and advance this technology may save the next 18-year-old boy to carry around a heart broken for the rest of his life because he lost his mother to cancer. Be well. God bless you all.